Noticeable solar power makes me feel like it was working. A lot of sunlight, I think, in Arizona. No idea what's in his pockets. What's in its pockets is no idea. We have no clue what is in little Gollum's pockets as he gets there trying to find his precious, which apparently was Nancy. Huge words, they're beautiful words. We love the words that we use. That should be the headline. People in public office lie.
Bored Since 85 Productions presents Dead Drop. Here is your host, Nate.
We have blood outside of the front door. Allegedly, there's some blood outside on the driveway. I saw images of it, and this was my natural gut instinct, honest to God. It's small spatter. It looks like you are stopped in that position for a little bit. It's kind of in that area, and that's just the image that I saw going up to the door. It was lighter in color, and it looked almost like perfect little circles. Now, blood, as it travels and it leaves the body, it coagulates. Tough one. It coagulates, which means basically on the outside exterior it gets kind of like a hard shell. Inside ooey gooey, outside hard shell. But when it hits an object, it breaks. It's not hard like a eggshell. So when I did the studying and different things, when blood travels at like a perfect 90-degree angle and hits a surface, bloop, at low velocity, cut your finger and it just drips out. And if it hits at a perfect 90-degree angle, it usually makes a perfect circle. It just kind of, if there's any sort of direction that the blood is moving, so if you flick your finger, it'll hit and it'll spread and it'll give you a bear claw. And the bear claws are like the little claws on a bear paw. Riveting stuff here. Like a bear paw claw track, it gives you direction. So if the claws or the extensions of the blood are pointing that way, then more than likely the blood is coming from somebody who's going that direction. If you have the perfect 90 degree or something that's very similar to that, that means they're pretty much stationary. The lighter color means also to me that it's a little bit more oxygenated. Big words. Trump would be proud. Huge words, they're beautiful words. We love the words that we use. To me, off the rip, what it looks like, told my wifey this, I said, it looks to me she was slung over her shoulder or put into a bag maybe. Scary. But let's go back to the shoulder one. Over the shoulder, it looks like the drips are coming off and the perp is maybe shutting the door, taking his time to shut the door quietly. Shh, quiet. Doesn't want to be heard. So he stands there for a minute, shuts the door. Or waiting for a getaway vehicle because he radioed in with the thing that was in his pockets. Then he radios in and he's got to hang out there because you're kind of covered in that little area. It's not like you're out and about in the elements. You're not going to stand in the corner like, hey, I got this lady I got to get rid of. Not really like, dare I say you hit somebody with a baseball bat and pull back and it spatters all over. It's icky. It's like big long streaks, just kind of right there. So that's the way it looks to me, which maybe is like coughing it up or a bloody nose. She's on blood thinners. That doesn't help because now we're going to have extra blood. That's what that kind of looks like, to me on that. But also maybe an indicator that possibly she was still kind of with us, right? So you can kind of determine if the person is walking or running. The report that I saw, it looked as if the blood that was on the ground wasn't coming from a person who was walking themselves. And what that means is if you're walking and you're bleeding or running, the way that the blood kind of introduces itself to the ground can show that you have a cadence or a walk to you. So the other thing is if you're being carried, that blood is gonna manipulate a little bit differently. So one specialist indicates that they think that she left that building and her body never touched the ground. It's not a death sentence. I mean, she could have been duct taped up with whatever goodies were in the backpack. She's an 84-year-old lady. Probably wouldn't take much. You got excess blood because of the blood thinners and she gets bopped in the nose. I don't know. It's kind of fun to make fun of the perp, the suspect. But it's not when you have, the older lady or any victim for that matter. I make light of a lot of situations with humor. That is not an attempt to, take away the gravity of the situation. Innocent lady, got taken from her bed in the middle of the night, which is scary. And it's impacting not only like her close family, I'm sorry, it's impacting not only her family members and close friends and scary, but a community, and then dare I say it even gets further out. It's scary. I'll poke fun at the perpetrator all day. They don't deserve shit. When it comes to the victims and Nancy, yeah, that sucks. It's, you know, it is what it is. It's part of life. It's scary, and more people should know about this stuff, but you know, that's kind of where we're at. For anybody like clutching their pearls, being like, oh, he shouldn't be so loose and making fun. Hey, Karen, this isn't the channel for you. There's a lot of channels similar to this, and way better, just being honest. There's so many more options for you than this, so if I'm being honest, just find something that's like special to you. 'Cause this isn't it. It's not it over here. I don't play with that. My defense mechanism for trauma is humor, so humor me. Many gloves found, strewn throughout. Again, FBI detectives, what are we doing? Stop doing that. Stop littering. And I don't even think it was them most of the time. I think the media came out, mainstream media, and was like, oh, we're finding all these gloves that are discarded by the FBI. The FBI? I don't know why I said it that way. All right, so there we have it. We have a suspect. A couple other things happened. The internet outage that occurred at the exact same time. I think there's more to it than that. A lot of people were like, we pish posh apple shosh. We checked into it, no biggie deal. I don't believe that. And then you got some glitching in the system with some jammers. I don't know. Seems a little out there. You never know. Like, people could be just plotting and planning stuff. And then the jammer situation, anything is possible. Anything is possible, as Kevin Garnett once said. Theories. Theory of a dead man. A band. Okay, here's a theory that I don't hate. Unfortunately for Nancy, she's a means to an end. We do have some ransom information that came through. A lot of it's BS, bullshit. But there was one, and they wanted a couple $1 million in Bitcoin. Now, Nancy herself, sure as hell probably doesn't have $2 million cash. Maybe she does, I don't know. But she definitely, probably doesn't have $2 million in Bitcoin. But I do know somebody who probably could get that cash or Bitcoin, and her name is Savannah, and she's her daughter. So again, I'm leaning now into a premeditated state where we have a guy showing up on the camera not once, but twice. And then you have a ransom that came in 3 days after she disappeared. Still a little long for me, because then people can watch it, get some information, but apparently from TMZ and news affiliates, there were details about, what happened. They wanted $2 million. And then also, there was a transaction made, I think, on the 5th of February with the crypto wallet. So, I don't know. I haven't heard much about that. All of that kind of put together, put a bow on it, and, a little bit of a premeditation. Then it kind of leans back to, a ransom situation, of breaking and entering with a bigger picture. How do you get to, Savannah? We can't get to her, so let's go after, the mom. It sucks for mom, but that's how these assholes operate. There was a Google search that was confirmed. One Google search of Nancy Guthrie's address. I think it was in Colorado. And it was before it happened. So right after that, same IP address is how to get away with a kidnapping. I don't think that's related, but they should look into it. I think the person acted alone. I don't think there was two. I'm gonna put a cold hard fact. I think there was one person. And the reason I think it's one person is a parasocial relationship with Savannah. If you have two people, then you have to have both of them like really into that, unless you're like, hey, we're gonna get some money and I'll split it with you. But then in that same vein, it's really easy for one person to keep a secrets. But it's difficult for two, and the more you have, the more difficult it gets. And the fact that we're on day 39 and we're kind of where we started, makes me feel like there's Uno. I looked up Bitcoin and I about pooped my pants. I had no idea that it was worth so much, is what I originally thought. I had $1 exchange rate and it was like 60 some odd thousand. I put all my money into Bitcoin. I gotta end this quickly because I gotta go fix that. Organized crime? I don't think so. What do you think? Do you think it's organized crime? Do you think they acted alone? Do you think the ransoms were real? Was Nancy's blood, spit out, or was she in a tarp and carried out? That's what we're gonna cover here. Okay, gotta think of all the angles. All right, so that's what we got for today. There's not really a bunch of news. I'm still confident though that we're gonna have some updates soon. So stay tuned for that. We're approaching day 40, but they didn't get the DNA into the lab on day 1, right? So I think like day 42-ish, day 43-ish, day 45-ish, day 50-ish. One of those days we're gonna get a break in the case. We talked about a timeline, so we kind of know what's going on there. We did a quick overview, and today we talked about some blood, we talked about a suspect, we talked about what they were doing, and then some theories of it. Theories of a dead man. Hope you liked it. Stay tuned. Long story, even longer. I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and then we'll keep going. So thank you for watching. Have a good day. Stay safe. The guy's going to say all that stuff. And if you're... I don't know why I do have stuff to do. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for watching Dead Drop with Nate. Please like and subscribe. Make sure to hit the bell for notifications to stay up to date with the latest in true crime. In the meantime, stay safe out there. Anyone with any information about Nancy Guthrie's case should call 1-800-CALL-FBI.